During the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln was the President of the United States of America. Right before the Battle of Gettysburg, President Lincoln met a black soldier. They talk about the soldier's experience in the war. Lincoln is encouraging the soldiers, reminding them of the importance of why they are fighting this war.
The year is 1864. Mrs. Lincoln, President Lincoln, and Keckley approach a black church, which is somewhere Mrs. Lincoln normally doesn't visit. Mary Lincoln was known for visiting wounded white soldiers in other veteran hospitals. She would go with her husband to visit battlefields. Mary Lincoln was rarely found leaving the White House. Keckley, her slave, convinces her maybe for the better if she leaves the house. Keckley suggests going to a black church because the black church is somewhere where both of them would be accepted. From an outsider's perspective, Keckley is just another slave, but to Mary Lincoln, Keckley is a friend and a confidant.
Keckley and Mrs. Lincoln walk into the church together. They see 3 black women praying for their lost sons. Mrs. Lincoln and Keckley take a seat together in the back bench, and Keckley begins to tell the story of the black women and their sons. During the Battle of Gettysburg, the soldier that President Lincoln had previously met was shot down in the field of battle. President Lincoln is beginning to write the Gettysburg Address. Mrs. Lincoln walks in and they begin to talk about the mothers losing children in the war. Mr. Lincoln pauses to remember the soldier he knew before the battle and wonders what happened to him during Gettysburg.
77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation, or any nation so conceived and so dedicated, can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men living and dead who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.